Hey guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. This is your host Thomas Tyree from On the Hot Podcast. Today, this will be the Combat Series episode number 35 for you guys today. Of course, this episode will be coming out on all four of our platforms: our Instagram account, our Facebook account, our YouTube account, and our Apple Podcast account. So let's go ahead and dive into the first segment of the Combat Series this week. I'll be sharing my fight prediction for this Thursday's fight taking place in the sport of boxing between Teofimo Lopez and Jamaine Ortiz. So Teofimo Lopez is back in action, and he will be defending his WBO super lightweight title at the 140-pound division against Jamaine Ortiz. This fight, like I said, will be taking place on Thursday instead of a Saturday pay-per-view. This will be taking place on Thursday on ESPN Top Rank, and this fight will be in Las Vegas, Nevada for Super Bowl weekend. The fight will be taking place Thursday in the sport of boxing. So my storylines heading into this fight: you have the takeover. Teofimo Lopez, he's returning to the boxing ring. And his last fight, the last time we saw him in 2023, where he picked up a huge win against Josh Taylor, to me, that ranks the second biggest win in Teofimo Lopez's boxing career. But after that fight, he said he retired from the sport of boxing. I never bought into that retirement. I knew Teofimo Lopez was always doing it for clout. This guy is so young in his boxing career, only 25, 26 years of age. He was not going anywhere. So I never bought into the fact that Teofimo Lopez actually retired from the sport of boxing. So it's good to see the takeover back in the sport of boxing. And now he's in the mood to pursue big-time fights, which he should. He just had the most dominant performance of his boxing career, outboxing Josh Taylor for a total of 12 championship rounds to become the new WBO super lightweight champion and the new Ring Magazine champion at the 140-pound division. He wants those future fights. Those future fights he has in mind is moving up to the welterweight division to potentially fight Terrence Crawford. He has Devin Haney on his mind, Gervonta Davis on his mind. He has a lot of big-time fights that he wants to make in the boxing ring. But can he stay focused and get past the task at hand, and that's defeating Jamaine Ortiz in the boxing ring on Thursday? Then you look at the storyline for Jamaine, my storyline for Jamaine Ortiz. Jamaine Ortiz is getting presented the biggest opportunity of his boxing career thus far. He's getting a world title opportunity. Really got put on the map, to me, for his good performance that he had against Vasily Lomachenko late in 2022. I think that performance really put Jamaine Ortiz on the map, finding his former sparring partner and Vasily Lomachenko. He obviously came up short, but he can still say he went 12 rounds with one of the greatest fighters of this generation and Vasily Lomachenko. So even though it's a loss, I think to my eyes, that's still an accomplishment for him going 12 rounds with Vasily Lomachenko. But Jamaine Ortiz did look sharp in his last performance against Antonio Moran, winning that fight by unanimous decision in his last time that we've seen him in the boxing ring. Will he be able to handle the pressure fighting a caliber fighter and Teofimo Lopez moving up to the super lightweight division to fight Teofimo Lopez for the 140-pound WBO world title? Will the pressure be too much for Jamaine Ortiz? But moving on to the tail of the tape, we have Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez is 19-1. He has 13 knockouts to his resume. He's the reigning defending WBO super lightweight champion in the sport of boxing, reigning defending Ring Magazine champion in the sport of boxing at the 140-pound division. He's a former unified lightweight champion, two-time Ring Magazine champion, two-division world champion in the sport of boxing. Then you're looking at Jamaine Ortiz. Jamaine Ortiz is 17-1. He has 17 wins, 1 loss, and has 8 knockouts to his resume. So moving on to the game plan for the fighters. These are the game plans that I have designed for the two fighters that they want to walk out Las Vegas, Nevada with the WBO world title at the 140-pound division, and also the Ring Magazine world title at the 140-pound division. These are the designated game plans I have for these respective fighters to follow. Starting off with number 1, with Jamaine Ortiz. I think it's important for Jamaine Ortiz to catch Teofimo Lopez lunging forward. I think what a lot of mistakes that the few mistakes I should say that Teofimo Lopez makes in the boxing ring is actually lunging forward, and he does that a lot. And he can make, if he makes that mistake of lunging forward, Jamaine Ortiz definitely has to capitalize on the opportunity, catch him off guard with a straight punch or a stiff jab to make him respect you with the stiff jab or a straight punch right down the pipeline to Teofimo Lopez when he lunges in and tries to get too aggressive, too carried away. Next game plan I have for Jamaine Ortiz is to stay aggressive. You're heading into the biggest boxing fight of your life, and obviously you have to follow the game plan, but staying aggressive and walking on Teofimo Lopez can give him confidence, boost his confidence, and get him more comfortable in the boxing ring, because you have to really be prepared to go 12 championship rounds with Teofimo Lopez. That one loss that Teofimo Lopez suffered in his boxing career against George Kambosos Jr. went the distance, and he's never been knocked out in his boxing career. Has he been knocked down? Yes, and it's possible for Jamaine Ortiz to do that, but he has to stay aggressive, walk down Teofimo Lopez to build confidence and get more comfortable in the ring with Teofimo Lopez for a total of 12 championship rounds. My game plan for Teofimo Lopez. Teofimo Lopez needs to land combinations, and land combinations early. Jamaine Ortiz does not do well when he's getting dished out with several combinations. You look back at the tape that he had with Vasily Lomachenko. I just praised him for going 12 rounds with Vasily Lomachenko, and he deserves that credit. But when I seen in that fight, when Vasily Lomachenko started landing a lot of clean combinations, it was hard for Jamaine Ortiz to start dealing with it. Those combinations coming at him very fast as the later rounds went on in the fight. So I think Teofimo Lopez doing that will be very important. And I also think it's been important for Teofimo Lopez to land significant strikes, significant power punches to Jamaine Ortiz. Again, he's moving. Jamaine Ortiz is making his debut at 140 pounds. He was just fighting at the 135-pound division. Is it 5 pounds? Yes, but there's a reason why we have weight classes in boxing, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. No matter if it's 5 pounds, 7 pounds, 10 pounds, 3 different weight classes are established in boxing for a reason. And Jamaine Ortiz is testing himself at a new division of 140 pounds. He has no experience at that division. And you're fighting one of the best fighters in the division, and Teofimo Lopez making your debut there. So he's putting on weight, so I think that could possibly slow down Jamaine Ortiz. I think that Teofimo Lopez laying some power shots could slow him down. And what I've seen in that fight against Vasily Lomachenko is really a small fighter at the 135-pound division. Does he make the weight? Yes, but naturally, I think Vasily Lomachenko is a 130-pound boxer. And when I seen Jamaine Ortiz getting hurt by Vasily Lomachenko landing power shots, can you imagine what Teofimo Lopez could do? And he's known to be a significant power puncher. Vasily Lomachenko really is, and he's known for his significant boxing skills. So I think he could hurt him as the later rounds go on with some significant power shots, and that could be in the favor of Teofimo Lopez. Last but not least for Teofimo Lopez, timing. Timing is everything in the sport of boxing, and Teofimo Lopez has way more experience in big-time fights and big-time moments in the sport of boxing than Jamaine Ortiz does. Jamaine Ortiz had his big-time moment against Vasily Lomachenko. I keep piggybacking on that fight because that's the fight that really put him on the map, and that was the one and only time that we've seen him in a big-time fight on a big-time stage, on a big-time platform. But Teofimo Lopez has had several big-time fights on big-time platforms and been a part of several championship fights in the sport of boxing. So I think timing and experience, he has to use that to his advantage against Jamaine Ortiz. Jamaine Ortiz can make mistakes if Teofimo Lopez starts opening up on him. Timing is going to be everything. Experience is going to be everything in this fight. But, ooh, that's my voice. But that being said, I'm going with Teofimo Lopez to knock out Jamaine Ortiz to successfully retain his WBO world title at the 140-pound division in the sport of boxing. I do not believe that this fight between Teofimo Lopez and Jamaine Ortiz is just going to go the distance. I really see Teofimo Lopez finishing him off by a knockout. I don't see this going 12 rounds, and I do believe the reason I see the knockout happening is because Jamaine Ortiz is moving up to the 140-pound division. Used to campaign at the lightweight division at 135 pounds in the sport of boxing. Yes, it's 5 pounds, but there is a reason why we have weight classes in the sport of boxing, and for Jamaine Ortiz to test his luck moving up to 140, fighting one of the best fighters in the division, one of the best fighters in the world, I don't like his chances, and I think Teofimo Lopez is going to land some significant power shots. I think Teofimo Lopez is going to use his experience, his timing, in this fight against Jamaine Ortiz Jamaine Ortiz, if you look back at that fight when he fought Vasily Lomachenko back in late of 2022, he was getting hurt by significant power shots by Vasily Lomachenko. Vasily Lomachenko is not a powerful puncher, and he's really a small fighter, being a 135-pound boxer in the sport of boxing. I think he's naturally a 130 pounder in the sport of boxing. But if I seen Jamaine Ortiz getting hurt by power shots by Vasily Lomachenko, can you imagine what Teofimo Lopez is going to do when he lands those significant power shots? I just like Teofimo Lopez's chances. Jamaine Ortiz really hasn't yet to be on a big-time stage and a big-time platform like this. In a championship fight, it leans me more towards Teofimo Lopez to successfully retain his WBO world title at the 140-pound division and winning this fight by knockout. But that is my fight prediction for this Thursday's fight taking place in the sport of boxing between Teofimo Lopez and Jamaine Ortiz.